Greetings everybody, welcome to another edition of Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee. This is Ron Placone, your host. These guys put out some good music. A self-proclaimed gator whisperer in the state of Florida who is accused of harassing the reptiles claims he did nothing wrong. This leaves the public wondering, is there such a thing as a gator whisperer who isn't self-proclaimed? George W. Bush writes a book called 41, A Portrait of My Father, which is a story about his father George H.W. Bush's legacy. This includes a painting of George H.W. that George W. did as part of his collection of paintings of world leaders, painting really powerful people. Very original idea. This book is a motivational and inspirational father and son love story that just goes to show you that you can be whatever you want if your father can afford to buy it for you. Scientists name a new bat-like species of frog after Ozzy Osbourne. I can only assume that this means snorting ants is the frog's main form of protein. That's not a dig at Ozzy, by the way. He snorted ants on a Sabbath tour back in the day. Probably more than once. The city of Manteca, California has passed a new ordinance that will ban homeless people from having sleeping areas. Police say that if this causes homeless people to leave, well then, quote, that's their choice. Exactly. I mean, we all know that for most people, sleeping is an optional activity. Here's a Red Bull so you can stay in town another day. Charity! Well, that does it for this segment of Thoughts, Rants, and Cold Coffee. Be sure to tune in next time. Check us out on the web at ronplacone.com. That's P as in Paul, L-A-C-O-N-E, and we are part of the Young Turks Network. This is Ron Placone, signing out.